fellow headbangers? Welcome to the greasiest of all time. I'm Rob O'Day, and today we've got an amazing band out of Indiana named Northaven. How you guys doing?
Hey, pretty
Pretty
good.
good.
What's up?
Pretty good.
Good.
Why don't you guys introduce yourself and let us know how you started?
Go ahead, Adam.
Man,
You want?
My name is Adam Keller, and I'm the lead singer in Northaven. And I kind of joined up with kind of joined up with them after they already started, but before we started actually making music. So it was quite a time to join, I guess.
Yeah, that's literally how I started my band too. They were already like songs ahead of me, and I had like 2-3 weeks to figure out lyrics before a show. So I get that. Cool. I know that reading your guys' bio, you said that you switched out a few members over the years until you guys found your solid base core. Um, how has that affected you guys? Like, has it been a struggle, or did everything just kind of fall in line? Losing members just was meant to happen.
Well, I think
oh,
it.
sorry.
Oh,
I was-
God.
I'll jump in because it's kind of during that time when you joined. There was some members in and out. Trying to find the right drummer at first was one. I joined with two of the original members that are no longer in the band. It was sort of started off like a thrash death metal style band. But it just wasn't going anywhere. I started to write some more like kind of gent style, modern metalcore, and the drummer that we had originally parted ways, and I don't know if it's due to that or if it was just uh, he was too busy or whatever. I don't know. And then we had another drummer, and then Adam joined. That's sort of whenever we came up with the name of the band, and then we had like a few songs around that time. And then he ended up moving, so then Larry came along, who's our drummer now, and everything just started to click at that point, and we were just banging songs out. We were playing a bunch of shows. Um, Most of the like leaves and entrances as far as members, I don't think it's been super negative at all, really. We're still sort of looking for a bass player at some point with our bass player leaving last year. We've been getting by with pre-recorded backing tracks with bass, and it's worked out pretty well. It's one less schedule that we have to match up with. So,
Yeah, fair enough.
but yeah, I guess that's my little caveat to Adam's stuff, and then to answer your second question, sort of.
Oh, that's wicked. It's always nice to hear like how everyone started, because it's funny when you can relate. Because like my guitar player, our lead guitar player, just had to go back to England due to immigration problems. The paperwork didn't go over in time, so he had to leave. So it's kind
Oh,
of standstill for
Dang.
time until he gets back, if he comes back. So I get that for sure. Being a band in America right now with COVID, how are you guys getting by? Like, I know that it probably hasn't deterred you from recording and getting shit done, but I know that it's a strain when you can't work with each other every day to write music.
yeah, we basically do this. We'll do the video and the live streaming and that wonderful stuff. And then every once in a while, we'll have a show come along and definitely jump on top of it and try to, just because we want to be out there, we want to be jamming again. Want to.
Hmm.
It's definitely rough right now, but hopefully, this year will turn around. Vaccines, blah blah blah, and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
hopefully,
I was
somewhat
going to
get back
jump in on that too.
Yeah.
I would say just from the setup that we have, like we all live in different cities of Indiana, so we're all like at least an hour, except for Ryan and I. We live in the same city, so we already kind of are long distance. So that part hasn't affected us too much because we're used to it. So
Okay.
generally, when we're writing songs, we will sort of pass riffs around, and then I usually compile most of the stuff together, and I send it to everybody, and then they sort of write their own interpretations to it, and that's how we come to practice to get those ideas sort of laid out. We have a game plan every time that we do get together for rehearsal or practice. So that's kind of been our method before. And then even with COVID, it's just been basically the same, just not as often because of quarantines and stuff like that. So
fair enough. You actually answered my next question, which was who does most of the writing and how do you guys go about it? But that's crazy that you're in different cities. That's definitely a dedication, because I know some bands live in the same town and don't even want to jam once a week. So
no, I know.
I definitely I showed my bass player last night while we were recording an episode, and we both get a total Lamb of God feel from you guys, which is fucking awesome. Like, your vocals are brutal and I love it. They're so greasy. It's just amazing. What inspires you guys' lyrics and like your music, like your motivation behind your push?
I want to know the answer to this.
Me too.
So, all right. The way I kind of look at it is, and as Brian said before, he kind of comes up with the idea of the song and everything like that, and then kind of sends it off to everybody, and everybody kind of jiggles with it a little bit. But I think the main thing that really sticks out is the title. Like, he titles the songs, and I just base something off of it. I run with it. So
see, the interesting thing about that is I just put titles like just so I can have them organized. Like, and I try to think of.
You could write some weird ass songs if you wrote them after my titles.
Yeah, I don't know. I just throw a title on there, and then if it sticks, but no one's ever changed it, and I'm always like, hey, if you guys want to change it, we can change it, and it's always just kind of stuck. So
that's funny.
That's I think I don't know. I think it's kind of perfect. Like it gives me an idea to bounce off of and just be like, all right, well, let me write something about that. I've never.
And that's awesome, because that's halfway what I'm trying to do anyways, is like bounce that idea off you, like, hey, maybe right in this realm. And it's not ever anything like Polaris or like Azurite or Genesis. Like, they're all just like usually one word or 2 word song titles.
Yeah, Azurite was, I think, the first song I heard, and I was hooked instantly.
Guess we're lucky to have somebody who's not easily inspired, but so quickly to be inspired. So
with lyrics and
good to you, man.
Heck yeah.
Musical backgrounds. Do you guys, anybody like have theory training, or how long have you guys each been musicians?
I'll go ahead and get past that to Larry. He hasn't answered one yet.
I never really did much with theory. I was in jazz band up until about 9th grade. And then I kind of jumped off that wagon once I wanted to do marching. But really, I've always gone by ear. Actually, rock band was a big thing for me. Music was always kind of in my family. And so me playing like rock band drums kind of like just, it got that muscle memory going. And that's how I went. And I got really into Avenged Sevenfold and Slipknot when I was in, like, I want to say maybe 9th, 8th grade, something like that. Yeah, and then that was kind of my biggest thing. Then I got into some different stuff, some Moretta, some Paramore and stuff like that, and just everything in between there.
Yeah, I find drummers definitely, it has to be in the blood. Like, you can't be taught drums whatsoever. Like, I play a ton of instruments, but drums was always the one I was meant to play. So when I got to drum for a metal band, I was like amped on life.
That's awesome. Larry. That's interesting to hear his background. I really got to hear it, but man, this dude crushes it like he knows theory, which is really cool. So.
Yeah, I always assumed that he did.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Interviews
We're
can
all
do some
learning
amazing
here.
things.
Yeah. I just remember whenever Larry came on his audition day, the very first time, and he already had like the click tracks pre-programmed and he knew all the songs. That's whenever I knew. I was like, this guy is going to be the perfect fit.
What the hell happened, man? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm giving him love, man. It's his spotlight right now. So
no, it's true. Our drummer we went through two drummers, and the one we have now is like he's an amazing producer. So we got lucky as hell because he can produce all our music for us, and he's been around in music scenes for a long time. So he's super talented too. So it's nice. It's nice when you find that solid backing of a drummer because they're hard to fucking find, man.
Yeah.
Ooh,
For real,
yeah,
definitely.
you're not kidding.
So with the music industry basically completely flooded and at a standstill, what makes you guys different than other emerging bands? What do you think makes you have that upper hand on anybody else coming out right now besides the fact that you guys are distant from each other and still kicking ass?
I'll let you take it,
Well,
Ryan.
I think a lot of what makes us different is I don't know. I feel like a lot of today's musicians, like whether whatever level they're at, they sometimes may take themselves a little too seriously. They might be a little too stoic up there. We have a lot of fun when we get up there. We try to bring the hurt when we bring on the music. We get out there. I mean, we're all wireless. We give it our all. We have a lot of really, really big rock and roll energy. We're really inspired by old '80s metal bands and stuff like that. And we try to get everybody engaged. I know a lot of bands probably say that, but I guess if you really wanted to see it, you'd have to come see us. But we bring a lot of energy, man. We want people to have fun. We want people to, throw down and just have fun. We like to write music that makes people move.
Yeah, for sure.
I
Definitely.
also,
I might. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adam. I'll
oh,
caveat after.
I was just gonna say, I also believe we mesh extremely well. Like, we all enjoy the same music. We all get our derivatives from different, you know, types of bands, but all in the same. We can all jump to one and just, and we can match like Brian said. We can do the energy. We have the energy because we're so comfortable, with everything that we have going on right now as a
Yeah, that's
band.
true, man. We don't see each other for like months at a time. We get up there like we just hung out the day before or something like that.
Right.
Yeah,
It's really cool. It's
that's
nice.
true.
Yeah, you
I was
just throw
gonna
down.
add on to the sort of what sort of sets us apart. One of the things I'd like to put in there is that when we like the type of music we write and our style and stuff, we try to grab from so many like subgenres in the metal world, and even like Ryan like said with like the '80s stuff and just having that energy. But just grabbing from so many different subgenres of metal and like basically fusing it all together. That's what kind of gives us the prog feel at times on our music. It's just kind of taking so many different styles and just smashing them together and putting them into this product that we call Northaven.
Right. And that's kind of what you have to do nowadays because I feel some bands can't accomplish that merging of different genres, but like if you can and you can grip it, then you're definitely going to appeal to a hell of a lot more people out there. And I think that's a downfall to nowadays music is there's this stigma towards metal's supposed to be one way and
Right.
it can't change. And it's like, no, everything changes. And that's like if music didn't change, we wouldn't have metal. It has to progress. It has to get better and better and better.
Yeah.
And
And
go ahead.
I was just going to say, branching off of that, I believe the classical, Mozart and Beethoven, all that stuff has a lot of similarities with metal. So who knows? It might have even derived from that.
I 100% think so. I definitely have always said that heavy metal, like especially symphonic metal or black metal and stuff like that, it's definitely the symphonies of today.
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that statement. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
saying the exact same thing for a long time. You listen to a lot of some of the greatest modern metal bands today, the complexity and melodies that they put together that sets them apart is the reason why they're so good, and that what makes them so attached to like some of those music of yesteryears. That classical feel makes people so amazing. Those bands that really stick out. Like even bands in the '80s to bands that are now. You got Megadeth, all like the
Guns
big
and Roses.
sounds that they had, like the crazy melodies they put together, all the way up to modern stuff now. It's just you gotta be immersive and adaptive and have a lot of sound, to be cool.
No, for sure. And I definitely heard like you definitely guys have that I think it's Spellcaster. I think that's the song, right?
Yep.
that has that lead at the beginning. It reminds me of like a Middle Eastern song almost. You know what I mean? Like it's got different melody to it, which is like it's not just your basic which is it's nice
Yeah.
to see because most bands they push for faster, harder, who can do it more heavy, but you need to think about melody because that's key.
And I gotta say, every time we always play that on stage, I'm always like, "You guys ready to groove?"
Right? Like it's so pumping. I love it. Like I'm creating a playlist, a Spotify playlist basically that features every band, and I find myself listening to that one over and over and over, and I'm just like, man. So I
Awesome.
showed my bassist, and he was just like, "These dudes remind me of Lamb of God." And I was like,
That's
"They're
awesome.
they're definitely solid."
Heck yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Appreciate
Um,
it.
Yeah, it's
the
that
music scene,
scale, that Phrygian scale.
yeah, right. And like that's the thing is like, I think you and my guitar player Dale would get along great because like that's all he thinks about is how to just work with scales, but on a different wavelength. And you're just like,
Yeah.
how do you even think of this? Music scene in Indiana, what is it like? Is it super supportive or is it hard to get people to come to shows like prior COVID, like pre-COVID? Was it difficult?
I
Sort
think
of.
I think it's kind of blotched. A lot of different genres and different places. You know, I mean, you could have a metal bar over here like the White Rabbit or something, or and then you could have right next door, uh, the Melody Inn or something, or
Yeah. Hoosier Dome was big
you could
too.
have.
Yeah, I feel
They
like
had
it
some
used to be
stuff like
better.
yeah,
Unfortunately, but
yeah,
I'm
Indianapolis.
hoping for a rise. After the post
Right.
COVID, I'm hoping for it. People want to get out and they want to explore these newfound like inspirations and passions. And you see all these people doing new things because COVID's like forced them to like find new things. So I'm hoping for a post explosion. So
I definitely
honestly,
think
so.
I definitely think metal is becoming more popular now because like I was saying to the guys I just interviewed is like you have Drake covering Bring Me the Horizon live. That says a pretty big thing about
Miley
where
Cyrus
metal is
doing
going, right?
Metallica too.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I think their singer said. He was just like Miley Cyrus is putting out metal, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's on the verge, but it's getting our bands to that point where they're seen, right? Which is
There's
hard.
definitely some life getting pumped back into it, especially when you have those superstars like Drake and Miley Cyrus and whoever else remaking metal stuff.
Mhm.
Just to jump back on like the Indiana scene, like Indianapolis specifically, I think is like really interesting. Like it's weird because it's very niche and very like particular. I feel like there's a few places that I mean, like Hoosier Dome is pretty big for most like emerging bands like us and some other bands around the area like Travelers, Relics. Those dudes are really awesome. We play with them a few times. But there's also been some like pop up venues like the Citadel was only there for like a year, and then the Emerson's back now. We haven't been there yet, but all of our shows that we had there last year got canceled.
Fortunately,
But yeah, so the indie scene's pretty cool to play. We definitely like that because we have people that we know there. Obviously, we also like to play at our friend's place. They call it the Further. Corey and Kayla. They have really awesome detached garage that they throw parties all the time, and that's like where our main fan circles from. And they're really supportive. Like they're always there because like they're there before we're there because there's
Yeah.
always a party there like on the weekends that they have us out to play and stuff. So it's really cool. And then I personally really like the Fort Wayne scene. There's so many metal bands up there. You've got Sweetwater. Yeah, you've got Sweetwater. Like all the musicians work there. We played with like some really, really good bands up there. A Bird and the Bear, Mantra of Morta, just like really like top of the line bands in the Indiana scene. So Indy and Fort Wayne definitely are the go-tos, I would say.
Cool. That's it's a hell of a lot different than up here in BC. Over here in BC, man, everything's there. It's so small, right? So there's
Yeah.
not that many venues. So like in, for example, like where I live, there was one metal venue, and it shut down because they had a kid, and it was amazing. Like they had a Monomarth come through.
Nice.
who else did they have? They had a ton of bands come through, but it's just, I mean, what we're trying to create here is that platform for bands to be able to get that exposure in this time and age because of that. Like, there's no way no one's performing right now, which is really painful for every single one of us. We struggled for so long, and all of a sudden it's just like, hey, not a chance. So yeah, no, it's cool to hear. Like, that's one of my favorite things to hear, and is about other music scenes and how supportive they can be, and some of them aren't. And it's just, you know, everybody loves to have free music, but no one wants to support the bands that are working for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Is there anything you guys want to say, like to the viewers or anything?
I would say go check us out on your platform of choice: Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. It's everywhere for your liking. If you do end up liking us, please follow us on that platform. Like, give us a Spotify follow, put us in your playlists. Give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram. Our tag is at Northaven Official. Also, you can follow us on Bands in Town. You get instant updates on when we announce shows. Whenever we start playing, we actually have a festival lined up for April 16th is our next show, and it is up in Fort Wayne at the Muse on Main Street. There's going to be a 20 bands there. It's a 2-day event, so keeping our fingers crossed. Last year it got canceled. This year, hoping everything goes through. Yeah, and go on Bandcamp, order a shirt, order CDs, get some merch. Yeah,
I'll definitely put all your links in the description of the video as
sweet.
well.
Awesome, appreciate that.
Spellcaster EP out now.
Yeah, get some. We got 100 copies right now, so order.
Yeah, no, definitely check it out. They got solid music. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming over and doing this interview. It's nice to talk to bands, and I'm sure we'll have you on again.
Yeah, for sure.
I just wanted to jump in real quick.
Oh, for sure, bro.
Tell everybody to be safe. You know, just live good. I mean, you know, be safe. Like, and we'll get through this. We'll get everything back to normal. We're gonna just stay strong. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming by, and we'll talk to you later.
Hey, thanks.
Okay, bye, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it.
No worries.